Thanks you, Nigel Farage, former leader of UKIP, is indeed with me here in Westminster. Nigel Farage, Mrs May called an election to get a mandate for her kind of Brexit. She didn't get it. Are you worried now that the kind of Brexit you want may not be delivered?
Very. I mean, despite the fact there are 318 Tory MPs elected on a Brexit manifesto, the DUP have got 10 seats and they support Brexit. The real worry I've got is David Davis, who of all the people in the cabinet I would have thought was closest to my kind of Brexit position. Even David Davis saying this morning at 2:30 that perhaps leaving the single market and leaving the customs union will need to be reconsidered. And what Tory Central Office have concluded is they've concluded that campaigning for hard Brexit has cost them votes. Now, I think that analysis is wrong. I think in the end this was more about personality. She failed the test. She didn't look like a leader, and Jeremy Corbyn was having a ball. He was going around the country, engaging people, getting new people out there to vote. So it seems to me that if even David Davis is considering putting the single market back on the table, then the whole Brexit process has really very seriously been damaged by this election.
As we speak, about half a mile down the road, we're told Mrs May is attempting to put together a government to cope with the new circumstances. There are some reports she's already been in touch with the DUP to get their support in Northern Ireland. Can she pull it off?
Well, maybe she can put together a government, but can she pull off the Brexit process? 4 times in this campaign, I saw her asked, as somebody who backed Remain, do you now believe in Brexit? And 4 times she could not answer the question, just said, I'm going to do the will of the people. You cannot go to Brussels and negotiate something as important as this unless you believe in it in your heart. So I'm told she's going to stay. She won't resign today, but I do think if Brexit's to be a success, we must have someone who believes in it leading the government.
So you think the Prime Minister should go?
Absolutely, yes, I do. I think she's failed completely. I think she has weakened her own position, not just within British politics, but she's weakened the UK's position with these renegotiations.
And yet, if the very idea of Brexit is back on the negotiation table, the debating table again, if you're worried that it may not happen now, or at least it may not happen as you would like it, and yet here is your own party, UKIP, nowhere in this debate. Well, no MPs, less than 2% of the vote.
Yep.
Out, over, done, toast.
UKIP yesterday seemed to be irrelevant to the whole process, given that the Tories were fighting on Brexit, and Jeremy Corbyn said Labour would go for Brexit and stop the free movement of people. And yet today, we face a prospect where if this starts to get watered down, if we don't get the Brexit that people voted for, then UKIP could be more relevant than it's ever been.
But you would come back from a very low base. You got only a little bit more of the share of the vote than the Greens.
Yes, I mean, but don't underestimate the fluidity of voters now in the United Kingdom and how strongly attached many of those Brexit voters are. If they get betrayed, their votes will move.
But the harsh fact is that your party, since you stepped down as leader, has been nothing short of a shambles. And that shambles has come to its logical conclusion in how the people voted yesterday.
It's not been very well run. It's not been very professional. I would agree with all of those things. But equally, you know, the tide was going in a different direction in this general election. It needs to be reformed. It needs to be changed. But believe you me, if we finish up inside the single market, then UKIP will be a party that's back getting millions of votes.
If, in your view, the country needs UKIP more than ever, for the reasons you've given, that's your view, doesn't it mean that UKIP needs you more than ever?
Well, I didn't involve myself in this election campaign. Let's put it like this. If my worst fears are confirmed, if we don't get the kind of Brexit that I wanted and that people voted for, then I would have no choice but to involve myself again with full-time campaigning.
You would come back as leader?
I'm not saying that, but I would be back full-time campaigning.
That sounds to me like you would consider coming back as leader.
Well, I certainly wouldn't even think about leading UKIP unless it went through some pretty fundamental reforms and gave the leader the ability to actually lead.
We shall see. Nigel Farage, thank you very much.
Big Man Tyrone here. Make sure to subscribe to the wicked awesome Robin Hood UKIP YouTube website. He exposes the leftist crops on the British brainwashing corporation. Nice.